heading into the third week right now, so you know, it's an opportunity to sort of stretch out camp a little bit, I guess, as much as anything. But came off scrimmage 2, another good scrimmage, very active scrimmage, so that was a positive thing for us. Now we're sort of turning our sights towards our first game and you know, get ourselves ready to go, give our guys a little break on the weekend, and then we'll go from there.
What are we, 11 days away? You're kind of in countdown to kickoff mode now, aren't you?
Well, I don't get into that countdown mode until we get through this week, so we're 4 days away from ending camp, and but we're still in camp mode, so we'll keep pushing it.
Mark, has there been any changes to your first string depth chart, and could you share those with us, please?
First unit, running back, tight end, quarterback, offensive line pretty much gets moved in and out a little bit with the 7 guys. Up front defensively, I think Kevin Williams made a move, you know, a little bit. You know, depends on where we want to play Malik. So I would say he's sort of a co-starter a little bit. Evan Jones sort of a co-starter. So those 5 guys. I think Sherrod has made some headway as well. Linebacker situation pretty status quo, and our secondary is pretty status quo. So we're pretty set. But got a lot of where the competition ends up is really is involved is who's our 2s. You know, we have so many 3s and 2s that are very, very similar, and that's where we have our depth. That's where you see the depth of the football team and the next level of players.
Can you name some of the Davis update?
Ed's grade was posted today, so now we just got to run it through the process of the NCAA, and then we have to remember that Ed did not participate in the spring drills, so you know he's got to get comfortable again with his knee again and acclimate himself back to football at this level, and so it's going to take he hadn't played in a couple weeks, so really hadn't played in a while, so he's going to take a couple weeks to get him squared away.
He did officially graduate though. He got the
yes, his grades were posted.
He gets through his paperwork. Is he healthy?
We'll talk about injuries.
Well, I'm not. I'm talking about health.
Oh. Yeah. Well, you know, he's healthy to play.
Yeah.
Mark, as far as which freshman might play this year, is that something that's been decided by now, or still some guys kind of on the fence?
I think there's some guys on the fence, especially defensively, who's going to play. You know, I think our freshman, Donnie Cordy, is going to play, and, you know, the wide receiver position is a little up in the air, but we've got guys like Cam Chavers and Tristan Jackson and really Justin Lane sort of competing to see if they're in that top 6, but they're right there. They've had good camps, so that's probably those are probably the positions. Theo Lacusa may make a push to play here later than sooner, but you know he's got ability.
Mark, does that make this a really competitive week because there are still jobs to be won?
Yeah, it does, and that's why we'll go on. We'll scrimmage on Wednesday, and you know that'll be an important scrimmage for a number of people. We'll try and see what they can do.
For the guys that are solidified, like a Riley and like a Demetrius Cox, Monte, do you back off those guys a little bit more physically, knowing that there's other guys you're trying to get looks at?
Yeah, we'll do that a little bit, but we don't want to lose their conditioning factor and everything, so I think they got to continue to play, and they'll get a chance to catch up a little bit. They're getting their legs back. We gave them a day off of practice. We had walkthroughs and lifting and things like that on yesterday, but we did give them 1 day off.
Mark, what was the difference between scrimmage 1 and scrimmage 2?
About 20 plays. You know, so, but you know, there's a lot to be seen there. You know, you have guys, you have young players that have learned the system a little bit better, so you're looking for them to make a move on the depth chart and finding out what they can do. But it's competitive out there, so there's a lot of things going on, and it just depends on what position, what coach you talk to. You know, they're able to sort of tell you, hey, this is where we're at here, this is where we're at there. So it's different for a lot of people. Is that enough? That's enough double talk.
Here's some more. When do you want to name a starting quarterback?
You know, I think Tyler O'Connor is our quarterback right now.
Okay, so he's the number 1.
He's the number 1 guy. He's had a good enough camp to say that right now. So, but will the other guys play? Possibly.
How did he do?
He's our number 1 guy.
How did he do in the scrimmage?
I thought he played well.
Mike Panishuk, several of your guys have really talked about him and really praised him. Can you tell us about his performance, and is he in that 2 deep?
Yeah, Mike's right there, one of those guys that are on the fringe of the 2 deep. Is he a 2 or is it 2.5? But he's gonna. I think he'll play. I think he's had a good summer camp, and I think he'll play.
Julian Peterson to come back and get his degree. What does that mean to you?
Well, JP, I recruited Julian way back And so you know, still keep in touch with his family and everything. So it's great. It was great to see him, and you know, it's one of the things he wanted to finish, and he's really completed everything he's wanted to do. And so this is another opportunity for him to sort of finish something.
What does that mean to you, though, just as?
Oh, I love seeing Julian every time I get a chance to see Julian. He's a guy that made it big, and very proud of him.
Mark, how's the offensive line coming around? On schedule, or how's it looking?
Yeah, I think our offensive line is intact, and we'll be ready to go.
Mark, you mentioned O'Connor's number one right now.
How much stuff can I say without really saying it?
Doing pretty well.
Can you say will he start week 1? Is that been decided yet, O'Connor?
I can say right now he'll start week 1.
Who's the number 2 behind him? How's Terry?
That remains to be seen as we move forward. But I think Damien right now, remains to be seen a little bit. We want to try and figure that one out as we go.
Is this a pretty spirited week, given that what's at stake, or is the dog days set in?
You know what? It's very spirited on Thursday when we let them go.
Yeah.
That's when it's spirited. But we'll get them going. You know, the scrimmage will be good, and you know, our guys will come to play today. We'll practice today and get things done today as well. We'll get things done. We'll be out here about the same as we've always been.
Mark, you mentioned the battles and second and third stringers. Who are some third stringers that are kind of getting noticed and making?
Well, are they thirds or are they twos? That's where you look at it, and that's really across the board. You know, you look at Khalil, and you look at Josh Butler, and you look at David Dow. Those 3 guys, you can just lump them together. I mean, they're good players. You know, Tyson's, is he a 2 or is he a 1? So you got 6 guys with Darian Hicks and Deontay there that are playing good football. So that's a positive for us, and that allows us to do some unique things maybe later on in the process.
With the way the schedule shapes up with the bye so early, does that allow for some extended competition?
Good question. You know, we'll see what we get done that bye week, depending on what we need, how we play in the first week. But I think that we'll be ready. We'll be pretty set and ready to go.
Why did you catch the first episode of Big Ten? Let's just say green and white days at all?
Did you catch the first one?
The first episode, yeah.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it.
What did you think of it?
Like the guy in charge. No, I thought it was very well done. I thought that, you know, that's why we did it. I think they do a great job with it, directing it and shooting it, and it's quality work.
Do you feel like it gave the actual glimpse of what your program is?
Yeah, it gives a glimpse of what's going on here, you know, without giving away what's going on here, and I think that was the intent. So, thanks, guys. Thank you.